Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Yeah, please.
I was thinking there recently that many opportunities you get a chance to talk about Krishna to different people, and I was thinking it started to dawn on me that if people could just understand Prabhupada, appreciate Prabhupada, then they will understand Krishna. I was just wondering, is that correct?
If people could appreciate Prabhupada, then they would appreciate Krishna. Recently, I was at the annual Prabhupada Memorial Festival in Los Angeles, which is held on Memorial Day every year in Los Angeles, ISKCON Los Angeles. Memorial Day is a day for remembering all the soldiers who were killed in the various wars that the American government is fond of embarking on. And that's a national holiday, so that day is set aside at ISKCON Los Angeles for remembering Srila Prabhupada. So it was announced there, Yaduva Prabhu, who Srila Prabhupada had told him to never put down his camera, announced that he, for the upcoming 50th anniversary of the founding of ISKCON, he was going to, or he was on a project for making a movie so that common people could appreciate Srila Prabhupada. So I said to him that it'll be very difficult for people to actually appreciate Srila Prabhupada unless they appreciate Krishna, because what is it about Srila Prabhupada that ultimately, I'm now at Govindadweep, I'm embarking on a series of lectures about how Srila Prabhupada touched his disciples' lives in various ways, but the real thing is that he gave Krishna. Krishna se toma, Krishna dete para tomara shakatiyachi. He gave Krishna. And common people, they can't understand what a great gift that is. And so they think that people who perform welfare work for the body, or who are a great national patriot, or a promoter of Hinduism like Vivekananda, they tend to think that these are really great persons. And although Srila Prabhupada is somewhat known among Hindus, but among Hindutvavadis, those who promote a somewhat militant or triumphalistic form of Hinduism, he's not rated that very widely, for one reason, because he never promoted himself as a Hindu anyway. So my feeling is that it will be difficult for common people to appreciate Prabhupada unless they appreciate Krishna. Otherwise, what will they see? What did he do? He got a lot of people to shave their heads and become vegetarians and follow some obscure Indian religion. That's what people see externally. So Yadava Prabhu said, well, they can maybe appreciate Prabhupada's qualities like compassion and this and that, but I doubt it, because Srila Prabhupada's compassion was quite different from that which mundane people call compassion. Because Srila Prabhupada's compassion often manifested in shouting at people, being highly disciplinary, by sending out his disciples in a militaristic way. He often used the militaristic terms to preach Krishna consciousness. So people, bluffers like the Dalai Lama, who go around and talk of love and peace while they're eating meat every day, are appreciated by hypocrites who they appreciate bigger hypocrites. So I am doubtful about the idea that you promote Srila Prabhupada's compassion, this and that, because from the mundane point of view, people like the Dalai Lama and Mother Teresa, another bogus person, they seem to be much more saintly in the eyes of people whose conception of saintliness is to be nice in a superficial way. Srila Prabhupada wasn't superficial. And he pointed out that everyone else is superficial because they're just on the bodily and mental platform. So I doubt that we can promote Srila Prabhupada without promoting Krishna, thinking that then people will come to Krishna that way. Basically everyone's trying to avoid Krishna and Prabhupada's trying to give them Krishna, and that is the greatness of Srila Prabhupada. So this idea we'll give Prabhupada, and then later we'll introduce Krishna. But for Prabhupada himself, that wasn't the policy at all. He always promoted Krishna. And the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, a lot of his preaching was that we first of all understand that we're not the body. People can't even understand this basic ABC of spiritual life. Even Hindus who are supposed to believe in reincarnation, but everyone acts as if this life is all in all. They don't understand it. They may have some theoretical understanding of it, but at most, but they don't understand the implications of it. So certainly we should try to promote consciousness of Srila Prabhupada, but probably the best way to do that is the same way that Srila Prabhupada always emphasizes, by distributing his books so that people can get the knowledge by which they can understand what a great gift Srila Prabhupada has given us. That's really the essence of Srila Prabhupada's gift, is the knowledge that he gave. The knowledge that transforms our life, saves us from repeated birth and death. As long as people are thinking that we are here to enjoy this world, how are they going to appreciate Srila Prabhupada, whose gift is to inform us that we're not here to enjoy this world, we're here to serve Krishna. So if we try to promote Prabhupada on some kind of external basis, he doesn't measure up very well to all these people who have made a profession out of cheating others by promoting themselves as being very spiritual. The definition of being spiritual in the eyes of mundane people is to see no evil, hear no evil, do no evil, and smile and hold peace conferences, which make absolutely no difference whatsoever. They'll have some conference for interfaith conference for world peace, which makes absolutely no difference. The Pope is going around saying, "Stop fighting in Iraq," or something. No one gives the slightest bit of attention to what they say. It comes in the newspaper, but it doesn't. Not one bullet less will be fired, thanks to all these big people saying peace. John Lennon, give peace a chance. And it doesn't make any difference to the world. It's just hot air. Srila Prabhupada gave the actual formula by which peace can be established, which is the same formula that Krishna gave. To be Krishna conscious, bhuktaram yagyatapasam sarva loka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam gyatva mang shantim richati. Peace can be established individually, socially, nationally, internationally, interplanetary, or if we accept that Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. We're not meant to act for our own enjoyment, we're supposed to act for Krishna's enjoyment. He is the proprietor, so stop claiming this country is mine, get out of that country, why is our oil under your soil? We need to control. We need to get into those countries with oil and establish democracy and love and peace so we can lovingly extract all their oil and then let them do whatever they like after that. And Krishna is the supreme friend. So stop posing yourself as the great friend of everyone. And be friends to all living beings. And also, recently there was so much outcry because the Israelis were attacking Palestinians and killing so many of them. The same people who are protesting, they'll be participating in the daily holocaust of animals, birds, fishes, and no one cares about that. So, it's very difficult to promote the glories of an honest person in a society composed of utter hypocrites. So we have to present the facts as they are, and sincere people will appreciate that. It's narrated about a Greek philosopher, what was his name? Dionysus or something. He would walk around in the daytime holding a lamp. People said, well, what are you doing? That looks a bit stupid. And he said, yeah, I'm looking for an honest person. So it's as absurd. The implication was that it's as absurd to look for an honest person as it is to go around in the daytime with a lamp. I'm afraid this idea that, well, we'll promote Prabhupada and then we'll present his qualities, and we'll present all the qualities except that he told everyone to surrender to Krishna. And without that, then there's nothing left. It's like presenting a wax model of a beautiful woman, but there's no life, or you mummify a beautiful woman, but there's no life. There's a semblance of beauty. That's all. Or even a living beautiful woman is just a semblance of beauty anyway. And then if you talk about his compassion and his kindness and how he liked children and all this and that, without presenting that the life of his life was Krishna and giving Krishna to others, then you're going to put him in competition with all these bogus people and think, well, yeah, he was very nice and he started this feeding program for Bangladeshi refugees, but then Mother Teresa did so much more and this, and then just put him in competition with all these bogus. You bring him down to the mundane platform by not presenting that all these qualities, they sprung from his pure devotion to Krishna, not from the bodily concept of life, as it is with all these pseudo-spiritualists. A lot of devotees in our movement get upset hearing these things. No, Dalai Lama's very good, Mother Teresa's very good. They're in Maya also.
I was just thinking, Guru Maharaj, had that time when Prabhupada was on the stage, it seems like Prabhupada gave that answer himself as being his greatest accomplishment.
What's that time?
When the man in the crowd shouted, "Show us a miracle." And Srila Prabhupada, if you're a holy man, why don't you make some miracle? And Prabhupada looked at his disciples.
It wasn't on a stage actually. It was there was a reporter in a press conference said, "Can you show some miracles?" And Prabhupada indicated all his Western disciples. This was in India, or among Indian reporters. And Prabhupada said, "These are my miracles." That he had brought people with no knowledge of or understanding or inclination toward Krishna to a platform of practicing Krishna consciousness that was far exceeded those of most people in India who considered themselves to be lifelong devotees of Krishna. That was Prabhupada's miracle. Yeah.
If most devotees in this country, Mother Teresa and people like Dalai Lama are good, it means they don't, or does it mean that they don't really understand?
If people, some years ago, And at that time, a aspiring disciple of mine in America wrote to me that she had been advised to imbibe humility by studying the character of Mother Teresa, which we don't have any examples in our whole Vaishnava parampara of humility. They have to go to Mother Teresa. So, does it mean they haven't understood the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, the philosophy of Krishna? Yes. Otherwise, why hold her up as an example? She may have had some modicum of humility. It's not that it's totally lacking in non-devotees, but again, it must be on the mundane platform. And harava bhaktasya kato mahan guna manoratena asati dhavato bahi. Because they're on the mundane platform, it's not whatever humility, compassion, kindness, gentleness, or whatever good qualities a non-devotee may exhibit. It's not the real quality. It doesn't come from the soul. It comes from the ego. So as I often point out, actually I gave an almost 2 hours lecture on this, having got that request to clarify the point. She ate meat every day, although living in India she must have known that meat eating is not considered in India to be a very good quality. Someone who's spiritually advanced shouldn't eat meat. Of course, in Bengal, it's a bit different, but there are plenty of... she must have had enough exposure to Indian culture to understand this. And she was living in Bengal. She must have had knowledge of Chaitanya. She must have had known about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and no inclination toward it. She wanted to convert people to Catholics. She was a Catholic. Another thing is she's so much advertised, but there are so many people in India who quietly do this kind of welfare work without all this fanfare. So it's a lot of hype actually about her. So she was better in some ways than many other people, but the attention that's given to her is just imbalanced. And for our devotees to think that she's so great, it means that they're not seeing through the eyes of Shastra. Even from the material point of view, that same point, that there are plenty of other people who have done similar kinds of welfare work on the bodily platform, not spiritual. And why so much attention for her? Hare Krishna. Alright, Hare Krishna. I'll finish there. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Vikasa Maharaj ki